Well, hello there. I'm Dianne Nix, and we're at the Women's Expo at the SBC, and we're so glad that you're joining us today as we do a live stream from this location. Yesterday, we had about 1,000 women come through our booths, 23 exhibitors in this space. Today, we're waiting for just a few moments more. Probably in the next 15 to 30 minutes, we're going to have 2,000 women converging on us. And I have one of my sweet, sweet friends that I've known now for, I can't even count the years, but she has a ministry called Secrets Savored, and we are so grateful for her and grateful that she is willing to join us and to be a part of us as we just talk about her ministry. We want you to get to know her a little bit more, and that in the process, as you are getting to know her and we're just talking and having conversations, we want you to then, if you're in this space, go see her. If you're not, then we're going to share with you how you can get in touch with her because you need to know about Secrets Savored. So hello, Dianne, and welcome.
Hello, Dianne. How are you?
I know, Dianne and Dianne. It's the twin D's.
Yes.
We are here together
Yes.
today. Thank you for coming and joining with us
Thank
today.
Thank you for asking me.
So tell me your role at the ministry. Give me a little history behind that, and then tell
Okay.
me what your mission statement is and what you desire to do through Secrets Savored.
Okay, I am the executive director of Secrets Savored. God gave me that title in the midst of a journey that my husband and I were on with his neurological illness, and God chose to bring about this ministry during that time. And our ministry is one of based on Titus 2. Older women discipling younger women, and we want to create hospitality, an environment of hospitality, and also study God's Word and apply biblical principles within God's Word to our lives. And so this is really older women meeting in small groups in homes, teaching young women.
Really, that Titus 2, what you've just said, that Titus 2 emphasis, and really what I love about this, ladies, is that there are videos that I've seen and seen on her online with her on her space, on her website, but also what I really like about what you do is like you gather the women around kitchens.
Yes,
cooking.
We do. It's very practical, very hands-on. God just knew that women are attracted to homes and attracted to the kitchen.
Absolutely.
And I hate to say attracted to food sometimes, but that
We
kind of
are.
brings us together. So it's very hands-on, and the girls get in the kitchen and they did just learn a lot of practical skills and just cooking and baking and how to keep a home. And meanwhile, the older women are just pouring into them and practical truths and biblical truths, which is such a blessing.
Just love it so much. And how is the woman of this day, that woman that you're mentoring, prepared to then step back into her culture and her world and her culture?
Wow. God created women.
Yeah.
They are part of His story. And
Absolutely.
So they have a part to play.
They have a major role to play.
Just as a man
Yes.
has his role, in the world and in a home and in a church. But God created women. And so we really want to equip these young women to go out into the world. We want to equip them to be better, if they're married, to be better wives, to be better moms. If they're single, to be better women, godly
Absolutely.
women. And it's just such a blessing to watch these girls grow in their
Absolutely.
practical skills, but more than that, in just their relationship with Christ.
Absolutely.
And in the depth of that relationship as we spend time with them over a 2-year period.
So it's a 2-year program where you come in and begin just discipling them of what it looks like to be a real woman, to be
Yes.
God's woman, right?
Yes,
To
we
be in-
start, book 1 is in the kitchen, so everything is related to the kitchen. Book 2 is in the home. And so there's a lot on hospitality and on etiquette and even how to decorate your home, but it's not
Right.
how to have a HG
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is more how to have a home that reflects Christ. And,
Right.
and to be able to do that on a budget. So many of these young couples, they don't have
we
a lot
all
of money.
start out like
we
that,
all
right?
start out, absolutely.
I mean, it's very few. I think a lot of our middle class in America today are starting out a little bit better than what maybe we
Sure,
started off.
sure.
We get that.
Yes.
There's some privilege in that, but the reality is there's a ton of women. There's thousands of women
Yes.
that are starting with nothing. And because of our culture and our society,
Right.
they're coming in with no legacy or spiritual legacy, so they
True.
don't know how to do hospitality.
Right.
They're latchkey kids. There's a fatherless
Yes.
generation.
Absolutely.
So they need this ministry. They
Yes.
need this training to even know how to
Yes.
set a table, right?
Yes, they do.
And we don't have to be formal.
No.
But just doing the basics of
No.
planning meals for your family, right?
I can tell you, we were not real formal at my house. My mother-in-law was a home economics teacher, and when they visited years ago, my husband told our older daughter to get out the everyday dishes to set the table, and she pulled out the paper plates. So,
I love that. I love
so
it.
no, we don't have to be big and fancy.
That's awesome. Well, so given that, let's talk just really, we're going to do like a 180 on the gender issue.
Okay.
So how is the ministry really helping that woman when we're dealing, your age, my age, we're looking at this gender issue that we're dealing with on an everyday basis
Right.
around us, and we're going, what in the world?
Right.
Because that would never have been a conversation for us. But
No.
our young women raising their young girls are dealing with the whole gender issue.
Yes.
How is Secret Savored just addressing any of that?
I think teaching these young women to value who God made them to be. God made women. He created women. There's a purpose for women.
Yes.
In the world and in the home, in the
Yes.
church, and helping them to see the value of that, and just being able to maneuver through this life with biblical principles in hand.
Yes.
And just, if you start in it all started in Genesis, right?
Right.
And God created woman, and woman has a purpose. And so just helping these girls to understand that and to value that, because our world does not always value, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you've
Yeah.
made that choice, that's not always valued. So coming to the place of them understanding that they have value as women and as
Yeah.
young women, and that God has a purpose for each one of their
Yeah.
lives, and not to just use an old saying, but He does, and He has something in mind for
Like
each
he
one of
didn't make a
them.
mistake when he made you a woman.
He did not
There's
make
not
a
a mistake.
No.
Even for those, like when I was growing up, I would be termed, the term that was used with me was that I was a tomboy.
Right.
But I I would have loved to have makeup and dresses and stuff, but I was a
Right.
farm girl, and I
Right.
was
Right.
there were no boys in our family, so
Right.
guess what?
Yes.
I did a lot of work that normally guys would do,
Right.
but I was a tomboy.
But you were still a female.
But I was still very female. You can ask
Very
my mom and
female.
dad. I was very
Right.
female and had female hormones running through my body.
Right.
And I could not change my
No.
DNA.
No,
right?
you cannot. You cannot change that.
That's right. So
Right.
I love that you're teaching about identity. So we're wrapping up today, and I know your full story and most of your full story. I want to ask you a personal question.
Sure.
How has the gospel and serving in ministry as a woman impacted your life? And I can see the tears already coming in your eyes. We got to hold it together, girl. What has the cost been to you personally,
Oh.
and has it been worth it?
I was asked that question, and it didn't. I hope this sounds okay, but it didn't really cost me anything, because this was God's plan and purpose for me. And now He's asked me to walk a hard road with my husband's neurological condition, and just suffering through that for 11 years, and losing our home, and not having a salary for a couple of years. And so that's been a hard road, but I wouldn't say that it's really cost me anything, because I have gained so much.
Yeah.
Just the blessing of just fulfilling God's call on my life, the blessing of being able to pour into these young women, the blessing of these young women and their husbands, watching my husband and I walk through a hard road and a hard journey, for them to see what a covenant commitment means.
Right.
So I don't know that it cost me anything, and if it did, the blessings so far outweigh
them.
the cost, that I don't even think about the cost.
Yes. Yeah.
The blessings have just been so abundant in my life.
So as we end today, I want to tell you that that's what I would think that she would answer, that she would say, Dianne Dougharty would say, the cost has been nothing in comparison to the gain that she has had in her life. And she is truly a humble servant. And as a young woman out there looking for an opportunity to be mentored by this ministry, you will be blessed. So if you're not here, then what you need to be doing is signing on to secretssavored.org.
.org.
You can find out all about Dianne and her ministry. You can contact them off their ministry. You can invite Dianne in to speak. You can get trained in how to host the ministry, and you will be blessed by secretssavored.org. God bless you, Dianne. I love you as my friend.
I love you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And that's going to wrap us up until just a few more moments. We're going to have our WMU and Worldcraft come and be with us, and we can't wait for you to hear what we have to offer you through their ministry. That's all I've got for you for this moment. God bless. I'm Dianne Nix.